Hello Truth Seekers, welcome to the channel and welcome to Friday. Today I'm talking about what happened in the US this week and about the consequences of that. And also I'm going to tell you some answers I got to some really interesting questions lately. I'll see you in the next part. Let's start with the most important part of this, which is what has just happened in the US. Now, I don't know where you are in terms of how you've been following this. I don't know if you've been a follower of the letter 17, and if you think that that was going to be the kind of the savior of mankind. If you were a follower, a big fan of the big T, and if you thought that he was going to be the saviour of mankind, or if you didn't believe all of that. What's happened is that really for the last 3 years, the big T and the letter 17 of the alphabet, they have been helping to wake people up. Okay? And over the years, millions upon millions of people have woken up. And that has got to be a good thing. No matter whether you believe that they were right or whether you believe that they were wrong. Personally, I look at it on a global, much bigger scale than that a lot of people have woken up. And they've all gone down the rabbit hole and they've all discovered the truths about what's been going on. All right, maybe some of them weren't true, but it doesn't matter. They've now awakened. They are now awake. So, and I've been following this, I've been following it. What I haven't done is to place all of my hope on that, because it seemed a little bit too limited. You see, I firmly believe that what we have behind us is God and the truth and right and righteousness. And so it isn't necessary to put all of your faith in mankind, because there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. There's a lot more help out there than what we think that we've been having. So I'm happy that all of these people have woken up, and I'm actually at the moment I'm having two feelings. One is I feel very sorry for those people who've worked jolly hard over this period to inform us about the comings and goings of the big T group and what they were going to do and what was going to happen. And really, it was chapter and verse that everything was going to be resolved and it was all going to be fixed. And now those people who some of them have got enormous amounts of followers, enormous amounts, they're kind of sitting with what appears to be egg on the face. But I don't look at it that way. And I know it's going to be hard for them to overcome that. If this is the case, and hey, some of them are saying that it's not over yet, the fat lady hasn't sung yet. But if it is the case, and it's going to be hard for them to overcome it, I still think that they've done a fantastic job in bringing people together, in waking people up. Remember, once you've woken up, you can't go back to sleep again. And that's one feeling. I kind of feel sorry for them, and I do hope that they can overcome this, and I hope that they can continue to do the truth seeking and the sharing of the truth. Some of them have got tremendously large platforms. So that's one feeling I have. The other feeling I have is a feeling of relief. And let me tell you why. I'm relieved that we don't now have to rely just on one source. I'm relieved that all of these millions of people who are awake are going to say, so what now? Maybe it's time that we start to do something. Maybe it's time that we take the responsibility for our lives and for changing it. Maybe it's us that actually has to do the work and not wait for some night to come charging in to clear up everything for us. Maybe it's us, and maybe it's always been us that have to do that. And so this brings me back to the idea of this year being the peaceful rebellion. This is the year in which we have to take responsibility for our own sovereignty and not give it over and not be told to just wait and it'll all be fixed. No, let's not wait anymore. Let's start our peaceful rebellion. Let's start saying no. Let's start uniting. And you know, this is the key thing, and this is what I pray for. And I'm going to come on to pray. I pray for this every day, that we unite. You know, we are now many people who've woken up. We are millions, if not billions. If we unite, if we forget our stupid differences, and honestly, the 2020 was awful in that respect. That everybody was talking about, no, you can't be in our group because we believe this. And look, what a waste of time. What we do believe, overarching, is that there is an evil in this world that needs to be overcome by good, by us. That's it. That's all we need to agree on. The details, we can talk about the details later. That's all we need to agree on. That there is an evil that we need to beat by being good and by being rebellious and by chipping away at it until it's gone. And we have the help. We have the help. But we must unite. And we mustn't be fighting within and amongst ourselves. That's exactly what they want. We're falling into their trap of divide and conquer. It's what they've used ever since they began. And so now, 2021 is going to be the year of uniting. And I believe that what's happened now is a brilliant step forward to helping us unite even further. And instead of just focusing on one thing, focusing globally. So that's where I see us. So I think it's very positive. Right? And I know lots of people are kind of, oh my God, what we're going to do? Hey, we're going to do what we've always done. Survive. We are survivors. For that reason, we've been here for a long time. And nothing can stop us. Nothing. Nothing has stopped us in the past. Cataclysms, disease, pestilence, famine, the whole shebang. And we're still here, marching on. And we will be, because it's a plan. So, that's that bit. So positive. I see it as very positive. Man, we're going to do something this year. Right, I had some questions in meditation I was asking the guys upstairs. Let me tell you, I was doing a therapy session with one of my clients, and she said to me, Gordon, would you like to talk a little bit about your beliefs? Because you seem to be talking a lot about God these days. Okay? And to be honest, it never really occurred to me, but as I thought about it, I thought, wow, yeah, I actually do. I do. And this was, I never used to because of the background that I came from. And so while I was in meditation, I was talking about prayer, because I pray every day now, and I pray to God. Okay, and I ask for very specific things. I ask for help, unity, strength. And I said, is it okay to pray? I know it's a fairly kind of strange question, but I just wanted to say what their opinion was. Is it okay to pray? And it's interesting. Whenever I talk in meditation to those who know better than me, they always give me a different slant on something that I think I know about. And they said, yes, it's very good to talk to God. And they said, because when you are talking to God, you are not only talking to God, but you're talking to the entire creation at the same time. And not just the entire creation, you're talking to yourself too. And so that's why, typically when we talk to God, unless we're really angry, we tend to ask for good things. Yeah, we tend to ask for positive things. And so what they were saying was, it's an affirmation that goes out to the entire universe. Why? Because we are all God. We are all part of God. We are all splinters of God. So we're talking to God, we're talking to ourselves, we're talking to everybody, everything. Okay? And so the next question was, so when I'm talking to God, does God hear me? I'm not saying he, I don't want to give God a gender. Does God hear us? And they said, yes, based on the answer the last time. God hears us the same as we hear ourselves. If we can hear ourselves, God can hear us, because we are part of God. And so it's kind of like, as above, so below. Whatever we do and say and are, we are communicating with God. But when we set the intention, then it becomes 100, 1,000 times stronger, because we're setting the intention for this message to go back. And where's the message going back to? It's going back to source, but it's going to everybody and everything. So prayer is extremely powerful, extremely powerful. And then I had a funny thought, thinking, oh my goodness, I know sometimes I have bad thoughts, I have thoughts I shouldn't have, I think about things. And they were saying, what God sees in us is the essence of who we are. The essence. Right? Look, we mess up. We do weird stuff. We say weird shit. We think bizarre stuff. Okay, if our thoughts were laid out on a table, we'd get taken to prison sometimes. But God sees the essence of who we are when we're talking to Him. So you never have to be embarrassed about anything you've done. As long as you know that your essence is pure, and your essence is pure, then that is what is being listened to. This is what's being observed, the purity of who you are. Okay? And then I asked this last question based on what was happening. I said, look, are we okay? Is everything okay? Are we okay? And the answer was, yes, of course. You've always been okay. We've always been okay. And when you think about what's gone on, okay, what's gone on, no matter how bad it has been, we have still been okay. The fact that you are listening to me, and the fact that I'm speaking, that means we're okay. Nothing has happened. Lots and lots of things have apparently happened, but nothing really has happened. We're still here, and we're still doing the same things. Okay, so we're okay. Okayness is a very, very high level experience. Okayness, it goes up there with bliss and everything. It's a beautiful place, and I do a process to help people get to okayness and bliss and everything in hypnosis. For us not to be okay, we have to give permission to allow ourselves not to be okay. So no matter what happens externally, okayness is something that we have inside of us. It's what we feel within. And we can give that away if we so choose. But it's always our decision. People and happenings can never take away our okayness. They don't have power over our okayness. We have to give that away. And I'll give you an example of a story. I'm kind of changing it a little bit. It's an Anthony DeMello story, but he was doing a course once, and let's say a lady said, I've got a friend that I've had for a long time, and my friend hardly ever speaks to me, and I'm starting to worry that, that my friend doesn't like me anymore, or that I've done something wrong, and I'm just, I'm worrying about it all the time, and I'm fretting, and I don't know whether I should contact her or whatever. Okay? And Anthony DeMello said to her, okay, well look, I'm your friend, and I'm going to tell you what the situation is. He said, basically, I love you so much. I really do. I love spending time with you. My life is in a very difficult place at the moment. I don't need any help. I'm getting by, but I just want you to know that you are still my good friend, and I love you lots, and so don't let any absence make you think any worse. You can be happy, and you can feel glad that you've got a good friendship. Okay? And he said to the lady, okay, so how do you feel now? And the lady said, well, I feel much better. I feel so relieved. I'm okay with it now. Okay? He said, now, would you mind just stepping out the room for a moment? So the lady stepped out the room, and he said to the rest of the group, listen, I'm still her friend. And what I'm going to tell you is that I can't stand her at all. I can't stand being with her. I can't stand spending time with her. I'm trying to avoid her as best I can. And I'm just not communicating, because if I do, I know I'm going to explode and say horrible things. So I think it's better if I just keep my distance and keep quiet. Okay? And then he invited the lady back in again, and he said, so, are you still feeling okay? The lady said, yeah, I feel much better knowing that. And he said, brilliant, that's it then. Okay? What does that show? That shows that our okayness or our not okayness has nothing to do with the truth. It has nothing to do with reality. It's to do with the perception that we allow in to us. When we think everything's okay, everything's okay. When we think everything is bad, everything is bad, regardless of what the truth is. Okay, so this puts us in a position of power. This doesn't mean that you have to live your life like an ostrich sticking your head in the sand. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the fact that we control our okayness. They do not. They cannot. They never have. God, they try. They try so much. You just have to sit in front of a TV and you find your okayness pissing off. Okay? That's why I don't watch the TV. Which comes to the last bit, which they said. And they just said this, and I thought, I'm trying to fit it into what's been said. They said, what the eye doesn't see, the heart doesn't grieve over. And they said it over and over again. What the eye doesn't see, the heart doesn't grieve over. And what I realised what they were saying was, you have to be careful what it is that you choose to look at. Because if you don't look at it, you are not going to be worried about it. Right? And I remember a long time ago having a conversation with my aunt about this, and I said, I do not watch the news because I do not believe it's representative of the world that we live in. I believe that we live in a beautiful world with beautiful people, and I watch the news and it tells me we live in an awful world with awful people. So it's not representative for me, so I don't watch it. And she said, well, you're just being the ostrich in the sand. You're just hiding away from it. And I said, so imagine that I watch the news for a week and I feel bad. How am I helping mankind? And she said, yeah, but you just need to be up to date. I said, okay, I'm up to date. How am I helping mankind? And she said, well, I'll have to think about that one. Let me think about that one. Now, that was 15 years ago, and she hasn't come back to me yet. Why? Because it's not the case. When you don't see stuff that is, especially at the moment, everything in the media is not representative of the truth. The truth is that we live in a beautiful world with beautiful people, and we're healthy in general. Okay? And we could be healthy in general, and we could be mentally healthy. That's the truth. The lie is everything else. That's not representative. So I choose, and my suggestion is to you, to choose not to look at it. Why? Because there's not much we can do about it, but that's not the point. The point is that if you are okay, if you are good, if you are in your salsa, en tu salsa, it's a Spanish expression, if you are in your bliss, you become powerful, you become a creator, you become somebody who can add something to this, who can affirm beautiful things for the future. If you are in a bad place because you have been brought down by the horrible, horrible lies that the media spews out on a second by second basis, then you become unable to help the situation. You become weak. You become without any strength. And that's what we don't want. What we want now, with all of these people who are awake, is that they start stepping into their own power. We are powerful beings. We are incredibly powerful beings. We don't know the power that we possess. We're yet to see it. And it's coming. Because very soon we're going to unite. And we're going to unite and become the change that we want. The change that we've projected onto other things and other people, we are going to become that change. And that's for certain. And so now, this is the point in which we begin our peaceful rebellion. This is the point in which we start to unite. This is the point in which we start to become one, a hive mind. A mind that is focused on what it wants, which is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faith, a beautiful future, paradise, living together, community. This is what we want. This is how we thrive. And we can have it. All that we need is a bit of unity. Bit of unity. You and me in unity. Okay. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye bye.